6 p.m. in Binjang village, that's in Kambe Central Subdivision, Donga Mountain Division of the Northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Same time in Duala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television with me. For me, I'm Sean Sander. In our top stories tonight, residents of Nous village, that's in the far north region of Cameroon, are voicing urgent concerns over the poor infrastructure and limited access to education as the divisional officer for Muturua makes his first official Meet the People tour in the locality. From the absence of modern bridge posing serious risks during the rainy season to the critical shortage of teachers in some schools within the area, the population is calling on authorities in Yaoundé to take swift actions for their rescue. Also in this edition of the news, 3 young men ages 12, 25 and 17 have been detained in connection with the attempted kidnap of the winner of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope 2026. That's in Bengwe Subdivision, Momo Division of the Northwest region of Cameroon. The individuals were nabbed thanks to the mobilization of young persons in the locality. These stories and more will be yours tonight. Thanks once again. Thanks once again for choosing to be informed by the best of television network across Cameroon. You're on to the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. We live from Duala, Cameroon's economic capital city, Equinoxe Center News Desk. In our top stories tonight, residents of Nobu, a village in the far north region of Cameroon, are voicing urgent concerns about the infrastructure and limited access to education as the divisional officer for Muturua subdivision makes his first Meet the People tour in several parts of his administrative unit. From the absence of modern bridge posing a serious risk, especially during the rainy seasons, to local inhabitants, to a critical shortage of teachers and overcrowded classrooms in several schools in the locality, the people are calling on the authorities in Yaoundé to take an urgent action. Innocent Aze has more in the following report.
Since he took over command as divisional officer of Motorbike subdivision in the far north region, this is the first time the civil administrator sets foot in Nobu village, grappling with a band full of challenges. Meeting with the population, some of the principal constraints were presented to him. That they lack a modern bridge infrastructure to facilitate mobility of persons and goods during the rainy season, with frequent inundation in many localities, often life-threatening.
C'est du tout qui nous a obligés à faire un truc local. En attendant, peut-être que l'État peut faire quelque chose.
The administration of government's primary school Nobu also seized the opportunity to channel their plies to Yaoundé through the divisional officer.
Des perturbations scolaires, l'absence de certains enseignants.
They need more teachers to reinforce the few who manage to travel long distances to teach, given that many who were posted to teach in the school are not regular because of constraints.
Ils n'habitent pas sur place. Ils se disent qu'ils ont leur famille, ne peuvent pas déporter toute la famille.
Another problem they face is the refusal by some parents to pay the PTA fees.
Si l'APE est malade, ça veut dire que les parents d'élèves souffrent. Parce que c'est normalement l'APE est fait pour résoudre les pareils problèmes.
They implore authorities to listen to their plea and address these problems, as well as help construct more classrooms to decongest overcrowded ones.
Nous interpellons, nous invitons l'État à intervenir.
Assuring he will forward their grievances to Yaoundé, the civil administrative officer encouraged the elites of Nobu village to invest in the education sector and urged parents to send their children to school.
Nous avons besoin de jeunes Camerounais avec des têtes bien faites, car ce sont ces jeunes qui vont prendre la relève demain pour le développement du village Nobu.
The population of Nobu village nurses patients with great expectation. Their demands will finally be granted.
And on to one of our top stories, 3 young men of ages ranging 17 to 25 have been detained in connection with a failed attempt to kidnap the winner of the senior men's category of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope 2026 edition, Hamadu Ibrahim, in a village in Bengui subdivision, Momo division of the Northwest region. Thanks to the mobilization of young persons in the locality, the 3 young men were arrested and handed over to security officials. Smart Njikan Gabriel has more in the following report.
February 2026, Amadou Ibrahim was celebrated by Cameroonians for becoming champion of the 31st edition of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope. Weeks after, the reigning champion missed being kidnapped by some 4 individuals in Bengui, Momo division of the Northwest region. They said that they saw him on social media, that he won money after participating at the mountain race. That is how we agreed to attack him. According to reports, the suspects, who were armed, disguised and attacked Ibrahim at his residence, thanks to a coordinated effort of youth from Zangtabi, Guokwang and Kai villages. In supervision of the phone, 3 of the individuals were picked up in Kai village, while 1 with a gun managed to escape into Bali. The 3 were first of all exposed at the village square before taken to the Fawn's palace, where the Fawn urged them to disclose the hideout of the friend who was armed. Since you are here now, we have called the authorities too, and they are on their way coming. They want you to free the gun you are keeping. Any other thing can be resolved. You need to be grateful to Allah because you all could have been roasted alive. Just tell us where the gun is, and even in court, you might have a fair trial.
Even for court says some man do something, they want punish it, they will reduce the punishment.
About the gun, one of the suspects said,
as the man
has run into Bali village. How can I go and make him give the AK gun? Because I didn't see any gun with him. But if he has, we need to catch him. So he gives it immediately. While the administration has kept the suspects behind bars, the community has vowed to stand together against any threat in their villages.
And stay within the premise of the penitentiary in Cameroon to say that while serving their prison terms at the New Bell Central Prison in the heart of the economic capital city, Duala, and also at the Nguma Prison, still in Duala, 4 ex-convicts alongside others learned skills, went through programs that have shaped their lives according to their testimonies. They were speaking to our reporter, Malak Glory, in Duala. And of course, we shall be coming back to that report of some young persons who said that the prison has actually shaped their lives while in detention facilities, notably at the New Bell Central Prison in the heart of Duala, but also at the Ngoma detention facility. They learned skills that they promise will help them as they effectively integrate into the Cameroonian society. Now, we stay in the city of Duala to say that the Duala City Council is stepping up its game to modernize and even perfect, bringing some order into the commercial motorbike riding sector. This is part of a program that is set to go operational or is planned to be implemented beginning the 2nd of the month of April 2026. It was after a meeting bringing together representatives of the commercial bike riders of the city of Duala and officials of the Duala City Council. Sadiq Chakochu has more in the following report.
After several sensitization messages, the Duala City Council has announced the stricter measures to regulate the commercial motor taxi sector. In a statement released on March 30, 2026, the Mayor of Duala, Dr. Roger Bassadine, informed road users and bike riders of a new rule aimed at improving urban traffic management and strengthening public safety. By the 2nd of April 2026, a systematic and unannounced inspection operation will be carried out by the municipal police officers in Aqua, Bali and Bona Prison neighborhoods, all in the Duala 1 subdivision. A measure which to some bike riders will instead orchestrate more disorder.
Pour moi, ce qu'on dit,
To me, this measure does not interest me. I already have all my documents. Besides, when there is control, there is always a fight because the municipal police take advantage to rip us off.
Donc tout ça là, ça met le business mal à l'aise.
I really think this isn't going to work. We could have considered another solution with the commercial taxi trade union representatives. However, some appreciate the mayor's outing. To them, each commercial motorbike rider has to be identified.
Moi, je pense que c'est une bonne initiative que tout le monde soit identifié.
They say it might reduce the level of insecurity in the city.
Que je suis identifié.
Local authorities intend to ensure the riders comply with existing regulations. Commercial motorbike operators will be required to present proof of registration in the sector sanitation and formalization program and must wear an officially approved identification vest.
And on to news out of the Republic of Cameroon, the current global landscape is marked by a tragic surge in regional instability ranging from localized massacres in several parts of the neighboring Federal Republic of Nigeria to large-scale warfare in the Middle East, particularly in Iran. This event illustrates the profound fragility of international peace and direct impact on geopolitical conflict on both human lives and global markets. It is the subject of this report compiled by Lo Manyejo.
In the wake of the Palm Sunday massacre, authorities in the Plateau State, Nigeria, declared 48-hour curfew this Monday, March 30th, in the area struck by the tragedy. On Sunday, around 8:30 p.m., unidentified heavily armed men opened fire in a bar on the outskirts of Jos, the regional capital, resulting in dozens of casualties. At least 30 people were killed in the attack, targeting a tavern in the Angwa-Rubaka neighborhood. In the aftermath, 3 more individuals lost their lives during a riot as residents attempted to pursue their assailants. Tension remains particularly high in Jos, where the university and several schools near the city of the shooting remained closed this Monday. Despite the curfew, dozens of residents took the street to demand concrete measures against insecurity. This region is frequently shaken by intercommunal violence. As recent as March 14, an armed attack left 20 people dead and was accompanied by cattle rustling. On the 33rd Monday of the war in the Middle East fighting Iran, the United States and Israel against one another, strikes continue on all sides, also hitting several Gulf countries, specifying by energy infrastructures. Tension remains at its peak despite modest progress. Explosions were reported this Tuesday morning in Tehran and Jerusalem, while the Israeli army announced the death of 4 of its soldiers in southern Lebanon. For his part, Donald Trump maintains a fluctuating position, alternating between threats and overtures. He notably warned that he could obliterate Khan Islam, a strategic Iranian oil site, if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened and its ongoing negotiations with Tehran, which he described serious, do not reach a swift conclusion. In a context where blockage of the Strait of Hormuz weighed heavily on the global economy, particularly in Asia, the American president nevertheless raised the possibility of ending the military operation without securing the reopening of the passage. This new shift immediately triggered turbulence on the financial market, leading to a sharp drop in oil prices.
And away from that story, we take you on to this major hook to say that, driven by an ambitious vision and legacy of excellence, the Kadji Group continues the expansion beyond Cameroon's borders, inspired by the values of its patriarch, Tola Kadji de Fosso. The industrial conglomerate showcases its expertise through investing or an investment in an ultra-modern plant in Abia State in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, thereby affirming its conviction that Africa's future is built by Africans. Babila Jonathan.
Let me warmly welcome everyone gathered here today for this historic moment. You are welcome to the Optimum Limited plant. Optimum Limited started as a bold idea, a belief that Africa deserves world-class products made right here at home. We saw a gap and we made a decision to build a company that can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world.
The Kadji Group is not new to African industry. For over 5 decades and 3 generations, we've built successful businesses in Cameroon, in particular in the beverage industry. Your Excellency, Dr. Alex Choma Oti, OFR. Since you took office, we have watched you attract new investments and breathe the life into various industrial projects. We came because we were drawn by the energy of our background.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me in celebrating the leaders and pathfinders of Kadji Group for their confidence in the Aba business ecosystem. Today's event offers the ultimate validation to our position that indeed the phoenix has risen from the ashes of its ruins. The decision of Kadji Group to invest in Aba quietly and without seeking attention over a 2-year period points to the validity of our orientation to attracting investments.
And that's all for the first part. Stay with us for Talking Point. And you are highly welcome to Talking Points, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are receiving a woman and children's rights activist. Our guest tonight is Barrister Remind Amugu, who, as I said, is a women and children's rights advocate. Barrister Remind Amugu, thanks for accepting to be guest on our program tonight. First of all, good evening and welcome. Good evening. We're glad to have you on our program tonight.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
I indicated you are a women and children's rights advocate, and of course with you tonight we are going to be discussing rising violence against children as reported in several cities of Cameroon. Now the first question I've got for you, Barrister, tonight, what's in your mind and thinking are the factors driving this surge in infanticide across Cameroon and the violence against children, and how the societal norms in Cameroon contribute to the disturbing phenomenon?
Yes, Armstrong, it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic what we are going through. From one incident to the other, we are here to digest the Matisse case. Now we are being faced with Divine Atangana, who just lost her life to some reckless man. I think one of the issues we are facing, the difficulty we have, is the execution of the norms, execution of the laws. When it comes to laws, we have a lot of laws protecting children's rights, both national and international. But I'm sorry to say this, we really lack the ability. I don't know what's happening, but we find it difficult for those rules and those norms to be respected.
Yes, that's actually a disturbing issue. I was going to ask if there are actually laws enough put in place. Now, away from the non-effective implementation of these laws, do we have some societal norms that in somehow are contributing to this disturbing phenomenon?
We do, especially in cities, developed cities, especially the metropolitan city like Duala, and even Yaoundé. We have this, we are drastically going away from our culture. Before now, the neighbor's child was your child. Before now, what's happening in the neighbor's house was equally being felt in your own house. For example, a neighbor was bereaved, your neighbor really cared and showed empathy and came around to sympathize with you. But today, what's happening in the neighbor's house does not concern. So I think it's a societal issue, this issue of individuality, this culture of it's none of my business, I'm minding my own business. That's I'm minding my own business in quotes has cost lives, so many lives. Because something may be happening next door, and instead of you who is aware to act immediately, do something, the person will just tell him, the person will just say, it doesn't concern me, it's none of my business. So rather than calling for a timely intervention, I think that's one of the issues we are facing.
Yes, Barrister, that's the societal norms. Now, in terms of the current laws in Cameroon, I know you started by decrying the fact that those that exist are not effectively implemented to some sort of dissuade people from indulging into this, but the legislations, are there, in the way they exist, are they strong enough to be able to fight against this?
They are strong enough if we are willing. If the Cameroon government is willing. The criminal justice system, to be honest with you, is a very, I don't know how to put it, it's pathetic. It's pathetic because you do a case, as a practitioner, I'm talking now from experience.
Yes, as a practitioner, of course, you are a legal mind.
That I am, yes.
Yes.
I'm in the 10th year of my career.
Okay, as a lawyer. That's as a lawyer.
Yes, as a lawyer.
Okay.
And criminal justice has been my interest from day one. But as time goes on, I am gradually losing interest in the practice. Why I say so? Because at the end of the day, the lawyer does not know how to, what evidence, what exhibits to put together to defend your client. You will have a good case, everything is put together, everything is there to prove your case. But at the end of the day, you get a very shocking outcome, a very shocking judgment. So I think we have the laws, but the non-implementation.
Is it a lack of perfect mastery on the part of the judges, or there is some interference in the judgments?
I think it's interference. I think it's interference, and to an extent too. I think it's lack of mastery. It's lack of mastery because I've had a case where I realized in court that the judge does not master the criminal law procedure. Don't forget, Armstrong, that the criminal law was recently harmonized. Criminal law was harmonized.
Exactly.
The criminal justice under the common law system was different from the criminal justice under the civil law. Okay. So we coming together, putting those principles together, I think the judges from ENAM really need to work on that, especially on some basic principles in criminal law, like that was brought new to them, that was newly introduced to them, like cross-examination. They really have a problem with that. Yes, they really have a problem with that. So sometimes it may not be that intervention or somebody at the top doing something, or somebody is corrupting the judge or whatever. It may also be the ignorance of the judge.
That's sometimes.
And it's unfortunate, yes.
All right. Now that's sometimes. In other words, you are saying that what we need is not necessarily reforms, but proper education time. What do we need here in order to be able to move out of what you seem to describe as troubled waters?
They just need to do more. Nobody is ever too old to learn. They need to do more. Let them go deep into the system, into the procedure, and read more, because sometimes they are feeling already very comfortable because they're already seated in their offices, they're already judges, there's nothing that could be done. The title of a judge cannot be withdrawn from them, so they just feel they know it all, but nobody knows it all. No one knows it all.
Barrister reminds, let me take you a little bit back. You started by decrying the less effective implementation of the policies that already exist that could better dissuade people from indulging into this exaggerated violence against children and also women. Now, recently we had a judgment on the Matisse case in Yaoundé. It was celebrated, but it seemed like you had a contrary view to what was expressed by most Cameroonians. To just say it directly, the person involved, Dagobe Wafo, was sentenced to death by firing squad. Was that not strong enough to dissuade people? Is there something that should have even been done worse than that?
Death sentence is the highest sentence as per the law. It's given to capital offenses. But my worry, I have a problem with that sentence.
Okay.
My worry is the execution of that sentence.
Okay.
Statistics have it that the last time a death sentence was executed in Cameroon was in 1997, or before 1997. That was the last period we ever heard of any death sentence. Recently, I think, was that like in 2000, and, if I'm not making a mistake, 2021, the massacre in Kumba. The massacre that took place in Kumba.
Yes, at the Mother Francisca College.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Yes. So
okay.
We heard that the culprits were sentenced to death. I don't know, maybe I wasn't aware, it wasn't brought to my notice. I don't know if you...
Like, if execution has been done?
Yes, if you have records of the execution. I don't know if Equinoxe television, knowing that they're everywhere at every time.
For now, we do not have records
always
of
there at the right places at the right time. I don't know if somehow I missed the news of the execution. So it's a problem I have with this Matisse case. I hear people say, oh, thank God justice has been served. For the first time, justice has been served. He has been sentenced to death. First of all, the death sentence. Cameroon is a de facto abolitionist state. Meaning that, as a matter of fact, Cameroon is not applying death sentence. So my question is, where or what is going to happen next to him? What is his status? What is his position?
Okay.
It's not just coming with one big sentence to convince the population or to distract the victims. We really want to know, do they plan to execute the sentence, and when? The procedures are all laid down. We have section 23 and section 22. Section 22 talks about the conditions, prerequisites to the execution of the death sentence. I don't even know why we should go through all that.
Okay, you mean that as per what that section of the Constitution demands, it has not been followed up since the sentence was declared on the case of Matisse, right? Now, Barrister, I want us to advance a little bit. You have actually made your points on that. Now, let's get this. It looks like the issue here it boils down to each individual, each family taking care of themselves and their children. What then should be the strategy adopted or suitable to be adopted by communities, families, and caregivers in order to keep their kids and their women safe?
Yes, I think this is a wake-up call for all parents, caregivers. Caregivers in general includes teachers, especially teachers for primary schools and all that. It's a wake-up call. I think it's a collective effort. A parent who sends the child to school cannot be able to follow up that child and know what exactly the child does on his way to school or back from school. We should take it as each other's responsibility, and when we see something wrong, we should draw the attention of the powers that be. The powers that be should maybe anybody around you whom you think can handle this case. You have police posts all around. You have gendarmerie posts. You have even people you can run to. Anybody.
We have people like you, barrister.
Yes, you have lawyers around.
Like
yes,
you,
people like us who are always ready to do pro bono. Pro bono, that's defending the people for free.
All right.
Yes, for free, because we believe that one's life or one's liberty is paramount.
Yes,
it's a priority to us. So
thank you very much, Barrister Remind Amogu. I remind our viewers that you are a women and children's rights activist, and you've done a lot of work writing and also defending women and children in several cases. You are based in Duala, where you practice. Is that right?
Yes, I am based in Duala.
Thank you very much once again for accepting to be part of this program tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Barrister Remind Amogu, a well-known, celebrated women and children's rights activist in the city of Duala. Of course, she was our guest tonight. Now, we thank you immensely for your keen attention. Many more thanks to our technical team. Now, we urge you to stay connected to interesting programs on Equinoxe. It's not all for news. At 8 p.m., you shall be having a full newscast in the French language. As for me, rendezvous is taken for tomorrow, same time, on same platform. Have a nice evening.